My name is Emily, and I'm 27 years old. Imagine working day and night, pouring your soul into something you built from scratch, a business that became not just your livelihood, but your dream. Now imagine the very people you trusted most in this world, your own parents, convincing you to hand over that dream, only to stab you in the back and sell it away without a second thought. That's what happened to me. If you want to see how this story unfolds, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more unbelievable family drama stories. I never thought my parents would betray me. I grew up in a small town where my dad always preached about hard work and honesty, and my mom constantly reminded me that family always comes first. I believed them. So when I graduated college, instead of chasing a corporate job in the city, I decided to stay close to home and open a little bakery. It wasn't much at first, just a rundown shop with a broken sign and peeling paint, but I poured everything I had into it. I woke up at 4 a.m. every morning to bake fresh bread and pastries. I handled the finances, the marketing, the cleaning, and even the deliveries when times were tough. Slowly, the bakery became more than just a shop. It became the heart of the community. People came not just for the food, but for the warmth, the laughter, and the sense of belonging I tried to create. By the time I turned 26, the bakery was thriving. I had loyal customers, steady profits, and plans to expand. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was building a future I could be proud of. And the best part? My parents always acted so supportive. They'd brag to their friends about their daughter's success, and I thought I was making them proud. But behind those proud smiles, there was something else brewing. It started with little comments. My dad would say things like, "Running a business is too stressful for a young woman like you. Don't you think you should let us help manage it?" My mom would chime in with, "Sweetheart, what if something happens to you? Who's going to protect the business?" At first I brushed it off. They were just being parents, right? Always worried, always protective. But then the pressure started building. They insisted that I should transfer ownership of the bakery into their names, just to make things safer legally. They said it would protect me from taxes, lawsuits, and future problems. I resisted. I told them it was my business, my blood, sweat, and tears. But they didn't let up. One night, my dad sat me down at the kitchen table with papers already prepared. "Emily," he said in that stern voice I grew up fearing, "this isn't a request. This is for your own good. You're too young to understand all the legal risks. Trust us. We're your parents." My mom touched my hand softly, tears in her eyes, and whispered, "We would never hurt you." My heart twisted. I wanted to believe them. I wanted to trust them. So against every instinct screaming in my head, I signed those papers. I signed my bakery away, believing it was still safe because it was in the hands of people who loved me. For a few months, nothing changed. I was still running the bakery, still managing everything day to day. My parents stayed in the background, and I thought maybe I had overreacted. Maybe they really did just want to protect me. But then came the bombshell. I arrived at the bakery one morning and found a stranger standing inside, inspecting the place like he owned it. When I asked who he was, he smiled and said, "Hi, I'm the new owner. Your parents finalized the sale yesterday." My stomach dropped. My heart stopped. I couldn't breathe. "What do you mean, new owner?" I demanded. He shrugged, pulling out a folder of documents. My bakery had been sold. The place I built from nothing. The place I lived for. The place that held every dream I had. It was gone. And my parents hadn't even told me. I stormed home, my hands shaking with rage. My mom and dad were sitting at the table, drinking coffee like it was just another morning. I slammed the papers down and shouted, "What the hell did you do?" They didn't even look guilty. My dad calmly said, "Emily, you'll thank us one day. That bakery was tying you down. You need to move on with your life. The money will help you start fresh." Fresh? I didn't want fresh. I wanted my bakery. My mom added softly, "We did this for you. You were working yourself to death. We just want you to be happy." But I didn't feel happy. I felt betrayed, destroyed. Everything I built, everything I sacrificed for, was stolen by the very people I trusted most. And in that moment, staring at their cold, unapologetic faces, something inside me broke. This wasn't about love. This wasn't about protection. This was about control, about power. And I knew then, I couldn't just let it go. I wish I could say I calmly walked away from my parents that day. But the truth is, I screamed. I cried. I begged them to undo what they'd done. But they sat there, so calm, so sure that they were right. My dad finally said, "The deal is done, Emily. Stop being dramatic. You'll get over it." Get over it? My entire life had just been ripped away, and they expected me to just get over it? The following weeks were a blur of rage and despair. I could hardly sleep. Every time I walked past what used to be my bakery and saw that stranger inside, running the business I built with my own hands, I felt sick. My customers, the people who loved me, who came for my bread and stayed for my smile, were confused too. They asked why I left. Some even begged me to come back. But I couldn't. I had no rights, no control, nothing. For a while, I thought I'd lost everything. But then something inside me shifted. The grief turned into fire. The betrayal turned into fuel. And I realized something. If my parents thought they had destroyed me, they had underestimated me. I wasn't going to cry forever. I was going to fight back. It started with research. I dug into the legal documents, the contracts, everything I had signed. At first, it looked hopeless. I really had signed my rights away. But then, buried deep in the paperwork, I found something. A clause that required my parents to disclose major business debts to the buyer. They hadn't. In fact, I had taken a small business loan under my own name just before the transfer, and they had failed to mention it in the sale. That meant they had committed fraud. My hands shook when I realized what this meant. For the first time since the betrayal, I felt hope. I contacted a lawyer. I told him everything. How my parents pressured me into signing, how they sold the business behind my back, and about the hidden loan. He listened carefully, then leaned back in his chair and said, "Emily, you might have a case, a strong one." The fight wasn't easy. It dragged on for months. My parents acted like I was the villain, accusing me of being ungrateful, of trying to ruin the family by dragging them into court. They told relatives lies about me, painting me as selfish and money-hungry. It hurt. It cut deep. But I kept reminding myself, this wasn't just about money. This was about justice, about reclaiming what was mine. The courtroom days were the hardest. Seeing my parents sitting on the other side, cold and distant, refusing to meet my eyes, it broke something in me I don't think will ever heal. But it also gave me strength. If they could betray me so easily, then I had no reason to protect them anymore. My lawyer laid everything out, the coercion, the betrayal, and the fraudulent sale. The buyer, realizing he had been tricked too, sided with me in parts of the case. He didn't want legal trouble. He wanted resolution. And then, one crisp morning, the judge made the decision. The sale was invalid. The bakery was to be returned to me. My parents were ordered to pay damages for their deceit. When the verdict was read, I broke down in tears. Not because I was happy, but because I was free. Free from the weight of betrayal. Free from their control. But freedom came with a price. When I walked out of that courtroom, I knew something had changed forever. My parents didn't come to me, didn't apologize, didn't even look at me. And I realized I had lost more than a bakery. I had lost my family. For weeks afterward, I avoided their calls. When they finally showed up at my door, demanding forgiveness, I told them the truth. You taught me family comes first, But you showed me that sometimes family can be the sharpest knife in your back. I'll never let you near my business or my trust again." My mom cried. My dad looked angry. But I didn't care anymore, because while I had lost them, I had regained something far more important: myself. Today, my bakery is stronger than ever. Customers who heard about my story rallied around me, and the business is thriving again. But I'm not the same girl who signed away her dreams out of blind trust. I've learned that love doesn't give anyone the right to control you. That family doesn't always mean loyalty. And I've learned that sometimes the people you think will protect you are the very ones you need to protect yourself from. My parents thought they could steal my dream and destroy me. But instead, they gave me something else: the fire to rise stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. So, if you are watching this and someone you trust is pressuring you to give up your power, Dunity, trust your instincts, protect what you've built, and never let anyone, not even family, decide your worth. Because I almost lost everything. But I fought back, and I won.